Hello friends. Imagine a Libra man, charming, graceful, and emotionally intelligent, walking into a room, his smile lighting up the space like a polished chandelier in a Parisian ballroom. Somewhere across the room, a Pisces woman, dreamy, intuitive, almost ethereal, watches him, not just with her eyes, but with her soul. What happens when air meets water? When logic encounters emotion? When the peace-seeking scales fall in love with the ever-flowing, mystical fish? This isn't just a story of astrology, this is a dance of energies. And today, we're diving deep into the compatibility between a Libra man and a Pisces woman. We'll explore their dynamics in love, sex, marriage, friendship, and business. Let's break it all down. Love, the poet meets the muse. At first glance, this match feels like something out of a romantic novel, not the kind where the lovers meet, fall in love, and ride off into the sunset with everything tied up neatly. No, this is a richer, more textured story. A story of contrast and chemistry, of soul-deep glances and quiet misunderstandings. The Libra man, ruled by Venus, is the refined gentleman of the zodiac, graceful in speech, elegant in presence, and endlessly drawn to beauty. He has a keen eye for aesthetics, but even more so, he's a seeker of balance. In love, he is thoughtful, measured, and eager to make sure both partners feel equally valued. He often imagines relationships as partnerships built on fairness, respect, and mutual charm. The Pisces woman, in contrast, exists in a more mystical realm. Governed by Neptune, she is a vessel of emotion, intuition, and imagination. She doesn't just feel things, she becomes them. She is the type to fall in love slowly and then completely, giving herself over to the experience with a vulnerability that is both courageous and dangerous. In her world, love is sacred. It's not something to be negotiated or balanced, it's something to be surrendered to. So when these two meet, their interaction feels almost cinematic. He is captivated by her softness, her enigmatic aura, her dreamy way of seeing the world. She, in turn, is pulled in by his intellect, his charm, and the way he seems to understand the subtleties of romance better than most. Yet beneath that initial magnetic pull lies a maze of emotional differences that must be navigated if this pairing is to endure. The Libra man is an air sign, thoughtful, articulate, and often more comfortable discussing emotions than experiencing them. He processes conflict through conversation, prefers diplomacy over drama, and strives for logic even in matters of the heart. Pisces, as a water sign, is ruled by emotional currents far below the surface. Her moods shift with the tides, and she may struggle to articulate exactly why she feels a certain way, she just does. To him, her emotional world may feel chaotic, even irrational. To her, his desire to talk through every feeling might seem detached or even dismissive of her deeper sensitivities. For example, when conflict arises, the Libra man might suggest a calm, logical discussion to work things out. But if the Pisces woman is hurt, she may not be ready to talk, she may need to cry, to be held, or to simply feel her way through the pain in silence. When she asks for emotional presence, he may misinterpret it as neediness or unpredictability. And when he requests emotional clarity, she may interpret that as coldness. This emotional misalignment can create tension. However, it's important to note that their love is not inherently doomed, it's simply asking them both to grow. Because here's the quiet magic of this pair, when they do find common ground, their connection becomes almost otherworldly. The Libra man brings a sense of peace and predictability into Pisces' emotionally fluid world. His fairness and ability to see all sides make her feel heard, not judged. And her deep empathy, her ability to love without conditions or calculations, shows him a form of intimacy that transcends logic. She doesn't want him to explain everything, she wants him to feel it with her. If he can lean into that, even just a little, he'll find new dimensions to love he never knew existed. Their emotional dynamic has the potential to be both healing and transformative. Libra's diplomatic nature softens Pisces' fears of rejection or emotional overwhelm. Meanwhile, Pisces' emotional wisdom encourages Libra to stop analyzing and start trusting, not just her, but his own feelings as well. The key lies in mutual respect. He must honor her intuition, even when it seems vague or overly emotional, and she must respect his need for clarity and dialogue, even when her heart wants to drift in silence. When they succeed in this delicate dance, their love becomes a beautiful blend of mind and heart, logic and feeling, daydream and strategy. Their relationship doesn't shout, it whispers. It's filled with small, meaningful gestures, shared glances, long hugs, and conversations that feel like poetry. There's an elegance to their connection, a softness that speaks not just of attraction, but of soul-level recognition. They may not be the couple who finishes each other's sentences, but they're the couple who finishes each other's feelings, eventually, after a little decoding. In the end, a Libra man and a Pisces woman in love must treat their connection like art, constantly adjusting, repainting, refining. It's not about perfect alignment, it's about beautiful contrast. Sex, emotional waves and aesthetic pleasure. In the bedroom, things between a Libra man and a Pisces woman don't just get steamy, they get sublime. This isn't the wild, reckless passion of fire signs or the purely physical grind of an earth sign match. This is something softer, deeper, almost cinematic. The Libra man brings to the table a sensual sophistication that's rare. He approaches sex not as an act, but as an art form. He's about ambience, timing, subtlety. For him, seduction starts long before clothes come off. It's the look across the dinner table, the tone of a voice, the way candlelight hits her cheekbone. Foreplay is everything, and everything is foreplay. The textures of the sheets, the playlist in the background, the exact mood of the lighting, it all matters. He wants sex to feel like a well-directed film, with pacing, beauty, and harmony. On the other side of the bed, the Pisces woman brings a completely different, yet equally powerful, kind of energy. Her sexuality is pure emotion. She doesn't just want to be touched, she wants to be felt. She wants to disappear into another person's soul and have them vanish into hers. To her, great sex doesn't start with flirting, it starts with a sense of safety, spiritual connection, and emotional vulnerability. If those elements are missing, she might hold back or emotionally retreat, even if the physical aspects are technically perfect. But if she does feel secure, loved, and intuitively seen, she can transform into one of the most giving, exploratory, and emotionally present lovers in the zodiac. Her imagination is boundless. Her sense of surrender is total. With her, intimacy becomes a form of transcendence. So what happens when this air sign aesthete and water sign dreamer come together? Potentially, magic. Together, they can create a sexual relationship that is both beautiful and emotionally immersive. Libra brings elegance and attentiveness, he wants his partner to feel adored. He listens with his hands. Pisces brings depth and fantasy, she wants her partner to feel enveloped. She loves with her entire being. When it works, it feels less like two bodies coming together and more like two spirits merging in a private, sacred ritual. This isn't just sex. This is a shared dream. But here's the challenge, and it's a big one: emotional synchronization. For all the tenderness and attraction they share, their internal worlds operate on very different frequencies. Libra, being an air sign, can occasionally approach sex from a more detached or aesthetic perspective. He wants things to go smoothly, look beautiful, feel balanced. When things get too intense or messy, emotionally or otherwise, he may pull back or try to fix it with rationality. Pisces, in contrast, is often at the mercy of her feelings. Her moods can shift quickly, and if she senses emotional disconnection, she won't speak up immediately, she'll feel it, internalize it, and slowly drift away. If she starts to feel like a prop in someone else's fantasy instead of a co-creator of emotional magic, her trust erodes quietly. This misalignment can lead to confusion in the bedroom. Pisces might feel misunderstood, craving soul-level connection while Libra is focused on perfecting the experience. Libra might feel overwhelmed or inadequate if he can't figure out her emotional tides. He might ask what's wrong, and she might not even know how to explain it. This emotional disconnect can make their physical intimacy go from warm and flowing to cold and distant in a matter of hours. The solution? Emotional honesty and patience, lots of it. Libra must learn that not everything can be fixed with the right playlist or a perfectly timed compliment. Sometimes, he needs to feel with her, not just for her. He needs to let go of control and lean into the emotional unknown, even when it's uncomfortable. On the other hand, Pisces needs to take ownership of her emotional needs. She can't expect him to read her mind or intuitively respond to feelings she never voiced. She must trust him enough to say, "This is what I need," even if that feels vulnerable. And when they both take that leap, when Libra stops intellectualizing every intimate moment and Pisces starts expressing instead of hinting, the result is pure alchemy. Their lovemaking becomes a conversation, not a performance. It evolves into something fluid, sacred, and unique to them. Together, they can craft a private world where touch becomes language, silence becomes presence, and sex becomes a kind of emotional communion. Their physical bond, when nurtured with care and understanding, can be not just beautiful but transformative. They can teach each other how to love in ways they've never known, Libra learning that passion doesn't have to be tidy, and Pisces learning that emotional depth can exist within structure. Marriage, balancing the dream. Marriage between a Libra man and a Pisces woman is like writing poetry on clouds, enchanting, whimsical, and full of beauty, but nearly impossible to sustain unless there's a structure beneath the dream. These two are romantics at heart, both yearning for an ideal love, a fairy tale connection that transcends everyday life. But the truth is, real marriage requires more than just shared fantasies and candlelit nights. It demands compromise, accountability, and a mutual willingness to face the practical side of forever. Libra enters marriage looking for a partner in balance, someone to build a life with that feels elegant, harmonious, and emotionally stable. Pisces comes in looking for a soulmate, someone to swim through emotional depths with, who will accept her entirely and love her unconditionally. These are beautiful intentions, but they operate on very different emotional frequencies. Libra is ruled by Venus, and that brings with it a natural appreciation for peace, refinement, and a kind of moral symmetry in all relationships. He is often the peacemaker, the one who avoids conflict and seeks solutions that will satisfy everyone involved. He wants his home to be serene, his marriage to be a haven from the chaos of the world. He imagines shared routines, thoughtful discussions, and a shared aesthetic that reflects their love. Pisces, ruled by Neptune, doesn't think in such structured terms. She feels her way through life. Her version of a perfect marriage is less about balance and more about spiritual connection, those unspoken glances, the sense of being emotionally held, the intuitive closeness that transcends words. She doesn't want a relationship that's well argued, she wants one that feels divinely inspired. This difference shows up early in how they approach daily life. Libra often relies on logic, fairness, and detailed reasoning to make decisions. He can get stuck in indecision, weighing every option until the moment passes. Pisces, on the other hand, trusts her gut. She follows the emotional weather in the room, not spreadsheets, not lists. She may make decisions impulsively, based on a dream she had or a sudden emotional epiphany. When it works, this can actually be a lovely balance. She nudges him to act, and he helps her ground her instincts in reason. But when it doesn't work, it turns into frustration. He sees her as unrealistic or inconsistent, while she sees him as emotionally unavailable or overly analytical. Decisions about everything, from where to live to what kind of couch to buy, can become unexpectedly tense. Money is another potential battleground. Libra enjoys the finer things in life, beautiful clothes, elegant restaurants, art, anything that elevates his environment. He may justify indulgent purchases in the name of beauty or harmony. Pisces, meanwhile, isn't particularly grounded financially either. She might use spending as a form of emotional escape, indulging in fantasies or spontaneous purchases without much concern for the long term. Together, they can easily fall into financial disarray, especially if neither partner steps into the more responsible role. Budgeting might feel too boring, too harsh, too real. And unless one of them, or both, makes a conscious choice to bring discipline into the picture, their shared dream life could start to crack under practical pressure. Still, despite these challenges, there's a lot to admire in this union. When a Libra man commits, he does so with full heart and high ideals. He may not be the most emotionally intense partner, but he is consistent, thoughtful, and genuinely interested in making his partner feel cherished. He will do the work, especially if the atmosphere is loving. Pisces, when she feels emotionally safe, is capable of breathtaking devotion. She doesn't just love her spouse, she believes in them. She supports not just their actions but their dreams. Her nurturing is not just physical, it's spiritual. She reminds her partner why life is worth romanticizing, why love should still feel like magic even after bills are paid and dishes are done. Their home together might resemble a scene from a cozy romance film, soft music playing, diffused lighting, scented candles flickering on every surface. A rescue dog named Luna curled up on a velvet cushion. Arguments, if they happen, are likely to be short-lived. Libra won't tolerate prolonged tension, and Pisces often prefers to escape conflict rather than fan its flames. Their disagreements may dissolve in gestures rather than words, a handwritten apology left on the bathroom mirror, a spontaneous afternoon picnic, a whispered "I'm sorry" over morning coffee. These two are sensitive to each other's emotional needs, even when they don't always understand them. Friendship, a bond built on magic. The friendship between a Libra man and a Pisces woman is like discovering a hidden garden in the middle of a chaotic city, a space that feels private, peaceful, and strangely out of time. There's something undeniably magical about how these two connect. Libra, ruled by Venus, offers grace, charm, and an elegant sense of balance. He knows how to make people feel comfortable, welcome, and intellectually stimulated. He brings conversation that sparkles with wit and perspective, a kind of social intelligence that turns ordinary moments into enjoyable exchanges. Pisces, ruled by Neptune, brings something far more elusive, emotional depth, dreamy intuition, and a soulful sincerity that's impossible to fake. She doesn't just talk, she feels every word, and she listens with a level of presence that makes people feel truly understood. When they meet as friends, the connection is often immediate and disarmingly smooth. They may bond over shared creative interests, a deep love of music, a fascination with film, a mutual appreciation for beauty in all its forms. You'll find them having long, meandering conversations at 1 a.m. about things like fate, love, the universe, or the significance of a single moment. Libra brings clarity and structure to those talks, while Pisces brings emotion and imagination. It's a mix of mind and soul, thought and feeling, and when it flows, it's effortless. Each feels like they've found someone who gets the side of them others often overlook. What makes this friendship so rewarding is how they fill in each other's emotional gaps. Libra, for all his grace, can be emotionally reserved at times, more comfortable analyzing than experiencing. Pisces lives fully in her emotional landscape, and her presence gently challenges Libra to drop his mental filters and simply feel. She nudges him out of his head and into his heart. At the same time, Libra helps ground Pisces when she drifts too far into the clouds. He offers a steadying energy, gently encouraging her to see things with a touch more realism, to trust her voice, and to bring her talents into the world instead of hiding them in her private dreamscape. He's her reminder that she has value not just in thought, but in action. However, even the most enchanting friendships come with tension, and this one is no exception. Libra is a creature of balance and predictability, and when Pisces gets swept away by emotional waves or disappears into her private world without warning, it can leave him feeling confused or even a bit abandoned. He may start to see her as inconsistent or too sensitive, not because he doesn't care, but because he simply doesn't process emotion in the same immersive way. Pisces, meanwhile, might begin to view Libra's calmness as emotional detachment. His way of keeping things diplomatic or light can come across to her as avoiding depth, and if she feels he's skating across the surface when she's drowning in something deeper, she may start to pull away. These misunderstandings don't have to be deal-breakers. In fact, they often lead to growth. The key lies in mutual appreciation. Libra must learn to accept that Pisces' emotional intensity isn't a flaw, but a form of truth. It's part of her magic. Pisces must learn that Libra's steadiness isn't coldness, it's his way of caring, his way of offering peace. When they make space for each other's emotional styles without trying to change them, the friendship becomes both grounding and uplifting, a true anchor in each other's lives. What's unique about their bond is that it doesn't need constant maintenance. These two can go long stretches without speaking and pick up right where they left off. There's no guilt, no awkwardness, just an unspoken understanding that their connection lives in a different kind of rhythm. Whether it's a random check-in text, a spontaneous brunch, or a 3-hour catch-up call, their moments together always feel intentional and warm. You won't find drama here. You'll find deep conversations, gentle humor, shared silences, and the kind of loyalty that doesn't need to be spoken to be felt. Picture this pair on a sunny Sunday morning, sipping coffee at an artsy cafe, surrounded by succulents and sketchbooks, talking about everything from astrology to existential dreams. They're the duo who might go thrift shopping for vintage records, then sit on a park bench quietly listening to one track on repeat, just because it feels right. There's an effortless charm to their friendship, a quiet intimacy that doesn't ask for attention but glows in its own way. In the end, a friendship between a Libra man and a Pisces woman is like a watercolor painting, soft, emotional, and full of subtle beauty. It's a bond that offers both escape and insight, laughter and reflection, fantasy and grounding. Business, air plus water equals steam. Business between a Libra man and a Pisces woman is like putting a painter and a diplomat in charge of building a rocket ship, full of beauty, charm, and grand vision, but sometimes dangerously light on the actual mechanics. The potential is absolutely there. Libra brings social intelligence, strategy, and a gift for elegant execution. He's a natural negotiator, knowing how to smooth over conflicts, charm clients, and elevate the team's overall image. Pisces, meanwhile, is the dreamer, visionary, imaginative, and emotionally intuitive. She's the type who can see the final product before it exists, feel what the audience will connect with, and bring an emotional current to projects that many partnerships lack. They both have something rare in business, soul. Where Libra excels is in presentation. He knows how to dress the idea, sell the concept, and communicate with grace. He's often the one leading pitches, charming investors, and navigating social dynamics in a team with finesse. He doesn't just want success, he wants balance and mutual satisfaction for everyone involved. Pisces shines in the conceptual stage. She dreams big, thinks outside the box, and channels raw creativity into something emotionally resonant. She's not one to sit down and outline a 5-year plan, but she can write the story, compose the soundtrack, or design the look that captures hearts. Their combined strengths can make for a dazzling creative team, especially in fields that thrive on emotional impact and aesthetic sophistication. Think branding agencies, fashion labels, film production, art direction, or music ventures. Libra curates the environment, polished, professional, harmonious. Pisces breathes life into it, soulful, subtle, and emotionally textured. Together, they can build businesses that don't just succeed, they mean something to people. They can create experiences, brands, or campaigns that feel like a perfect blend of substance and style. In short, they can make magic. But here's the catch, and it's a big one: neither of them naturally gravitates toward the less glamorous parts of running a business. Libra is so focused on harmony that he may avoid direct confrontation, even when it's necessary. He doesn't want to offend the team, lose a client, or create any sort of tension, even if that means letting issues linger too long. Pisces, on the other hand, can completely disengage when the pressure gets too high. Deadlines stress her out. Numbers bore her. Conflict makes her shut down. If a crisis arises, she may emotionally retreat instead of facing it head-on. And neither is particularly excited by spreadsheets, tax codes, or operational logistics. This lack of grounding can become a serious problem in the long term. Without someone to manage the details, enforce timelines, and ensure financial stability, the business may start to drift. Projects may fall behind schedule. Budgets may be unclear. Important decisions may be postponed or made impulsively. And when things go wrong, and in business, they always do at some point, both may find it difficult to deliver the hard truths or take swift, decisive action. To make this partnership work, structure is non-negotiable. They may need to consciously bring in a third party who can act as the pragmatic backbone of the operation, someone with strong earth sign energy, like a Virgo project manager or a Capricorn CFO. This person won't just handle the numbers, they'll keep things real. They'll turn the duo's beautiful ideas into actionable plans, keep everyone on track, and handle the nitty-gritty so Libra and Pisces can focus on what they do best. Without that grounding force, the business may look beautiful on the outside but crumble under its own romantic ideals. That said, when the foundation is strong, this business partnership has the potential to create something truly special. Libra ensures that the brand voice is clear, that the team environment is collaborative, and that client relationships are nurtured. Pisces ensures that the work is meaningful, authentic, and emotionally resonant. Their business won't be soulless, it'll feel alive. And in an age where consumers want connection, not just products, that's a huge competitive advantage. People will remember what they create. They'll feel it. However, the pair must also learn how to evolve individually. Libra must become comfortable with necessary conflict, with saying no, setting boundaries, and delivering feedback even when it disrupts harmony. Pisces must learn to push through discomfort and show up consistently, especially when things get hard or uninspiring. Growth in business requires discomfort, and they'll have to teach each other how to sit with that discomfort without running from it. So, are they compatible? The Libra man and Pisces woman share what you might call storybook potential, the kind of dynamic that makes people believe in soulmates. Their bond is soft around the edges, cinematic in tone, and laced with the kind of emotional nuance that inspires poetry and films. When they first meet, there's an almost immediate sense of enchantment. He sees in her a softness, a dreaminess, a feeling of mystery that ignites his curiosity. She sees in him a grace, an effortlessness, a sense of thoughtfulness that makes her feel emotionally seen. But if love were built on first impressions alone, every story would be a fairy tale. The real question isn't just can they fall for each other, it's can they sustain it. This pairing is rich in emotional and aesthetic potential, but it doesn't come without its set of challenges. Libra, ruled by Venus, craves harmony and intellectual connection. He wants love to be beautiful, fair, and composed, a shared dance where neither partner steps too heavily. Pisces, ruled by Neptune, seeks spiritual intimacy and emotional surrender. She wants a love that doesn't just look good, but feels cosmic, raw, flowing, and deeply felt. Their approaches to love are not incompatible, but they are fundamentally different in tone and rhythm. To make this relationship work, both must be willing to stretch themselves beyond what's comfortable and into what's necessary. Libra must learn to dive deep. For all his elegance and polish, Libra can sometimes hover too close to the surface, analyzing love rather than experiencing it fully. In a relationship with Pisces, that won't fly for long. She needs more than good manners and poetic compliments, she needs emotional depth, vulnerability, and a willingness to feel it all, even when it's messy. The Libra man will have to get comfortable with discomfort. He'll need to be okay with not having all the answers, not being perfectly balanced, and not always being in control. Pisces will challenge him to stop pleasing everyone and start getting real. And when he does, when he allows himself to truly be seen, he'll find a depth of emotional connection that no amount of surface harmony could ever offer. Pisces must learn to rise and communicate. For all her intuitive wisdom and emotional richness, the Pisces woman often struggles with clarity. She feels things intensely but sometimes avoids naming them, hoping her partner will just understand. In a relationship with Libra, that can lead to confusion. He needs words. He needs clarity. If Pisces expects him to intuit her unspoken needs or read her silence as depth, he may grow distant, even frustrated. For the relationship to thrive, Pisces must be willing to come up for air, to find the language for her inner world, to trust that expressing her feelings won't break the spell but actually strengthen it. Libra doesn't fear emotion, he just needs to understand it. Their compatibility isn't seamless, but it's soulful. It's not the kind of connection where everything aligns perfectly from the start. It's the kind where two people come from different emotional planets and choose to build a bridge anyway. And in that process, in the willingness to learn, grow, and reach across the divide, they become better, not just as partners, but as people. That's not always easy, but it's deeply meaningful. They don't complete each other in the cliched sense. Instead, they challenge each other to evolve. He teaches her that structure doesn't mean restriction. She teaches him that surrender isn't weakness, it's love in its purest form. So if you're a Libra man wondering if that gentle Pisces woman is worth the effort, or a Pisces woman drawn to the elegant complexity of a Libra guy, the answer isn't written in the stars, but in your willingness to do the work. Are you willing to lean in when it gets confusing? To stay when it feels vulnerable? To grow through your discomfort? If so, then yes, this can be a love worth writing songs about. Because at the end of the day, astrology doesn't decide your fate. It doesn't lock you into anything. What it offers is a map, a symbolic language for understanding your patterns, your pitfalls, and your potential. Whether you use that map to navigate wisely or leave it in the glove box is entirely up to you. If this deep dive into Libra and Pisces compatibility hit home, make sure to like the video, subscribe for more cosmic insight, and hit that bell so you don't miss a single star-guided story. Drop your sign in the comments, who should we explore next? And don't forget to follow us on social media for weekly horoscopes, bonus breakdowns, and behind-the-scenes content you won't find anywhere else. Until next time, love wisely, dream deeply, and keep looking up.